Out here, it's different. The woods, the water, the wild. This is where we hunt. This is where we fish. This is how we live. Welcome to the WeFish2 Podcast, where we hunt, fish, and live outside. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of We Hunt 2, We Fish 2, where we hunt, fish, and live outside. As always, I got my right-hand man, Lou, in the house. And
what's that?
And today, and today we really want to try something different. And that is, we're going to bring in a guest today, and his name is Darryl. Let me tell you a little bit about Darryl.
Mm-hmm.
Darryl is an outdoor enthusiast that grew up fishing along the Tennessee River. Along his journey to adulthood, he was hyper-focused on career success and not personal fulfillment. He rediscovered the wonders of the outdoors 8 years ago, and he is here today to share those experiences on how the outdoors has changed his life. Let's welcome Darryl to the show. Welcome, Darryl. I appreciate you for joining us. And today we're going to look at how has the outdoor changed our lives, or in your lives for that matter. So we are talking about something that's bigger, something bigger than the outdoors.
Absolutely.
Because we never know what our lives may bring, the stresses, the turmoil sometimes we may experience. But when people talk about the outdoor, they think of hunting and fishing, but it's bigger than that. And we're talking about life, specifically how you are connected to the outdoors, how it can change you. Some people look at hunting and fishing as hobbies, but Lou and I think different because
absolutely,
those things have impacted us. But for many of us, it's much more than just that. It's therapy. In several episodes before, we talked about how those things have served as therapy for us. So along that, it builds community. It instills, some characteristics that can take you throughout life. So I'm going to turn it over to Darryl with a few questions, if you don't mind. So one of the questions I'm eager to ask is, what connected you to the outdoors 8 years ago? I know in your bio you said you was hyper-focused on career. So what changed?
Yeah, so going back, so I was introduced to the outdoors as a young child, fishing along that Tennessee River as a Boy Scout and, going out and doing things like that. But, when you're coming of age, everybody always tell you, get your lesson now, get your lesson.
That's right. That's right.
Be in them books, stay focused. So, going through adulthood, going from high school to college to focus on that, you're always thinking, oh, I gotta get this job. I'm trying to secure the bag, things like that. But then you realize once you, start getting into that career mode, you're like, this bag is not the only thing that can fulfill me, that can sustain me. So that's what led me to get back into the outdoors.
Wow, man. See, that's an awesome story in itself, because some people, I know for sure, and I believe this in my heart, that there's someone that has that same story, but they don't know, how to tell it. But here we are, and with someone that they can see themselves in, because that's what it's all about. So what about this? You talked about your entry into the outdoors, but really specifically, in what ways do you think it has shaped you, or how it has, refocused you into everyday life?
I think it's helped me in so many ways because it helps me think outside of a box. You can go into the woods and the outdoors in general and have one plan on how you're going to attack your target species or something like that. But that species will do its own thing because, they live there. We just visit in there, honestly.
That's right.
Being in the outdoors. So, I may have a strategy thinking that, I'm going to sit in the saddle. I'm going to be at this tree. I'm at a pinch point. I see a lot of deer tracks and stuff. I got them in the bag. Don't show up the whole day. So I just think the outdoors just teaches you to, think outside the box, don't be discouraged when you get let down when something doesn't go your way, and try to just formulate your thoughts so you can move on to the next time to keep going and going. So it just don't discourage you,
That's it. That's it.
That's the thing. Is that it? The thing that keeps you coming back?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It keeps me coming back because I know, well, I don't know. I feel based on, me looking at the wind, looking at the weather, looking at the thermal climb, I have an idea of what's
He's saying the
happen.
right things.
I have an idea of what's going to happen, but it's ultimately, I'm trying to get in their crossway between them going to food, going to bed, I'm trying to catch them up. But they say, hey man, Darryl in the woods today. We taking the day off. We're going another way back. So,
all right, Lou, what you got? Lou?
I was like, Darryl, what you do wrong, man? Don't you see a deer every time you go to the woods?
Absolutely not. I see myself sleep. in a tree every time I go to the woods.
Hey, that's one thing I can say though. Even if I don't see anything in the woods, just enjoying Mother Nature, taking a nap.
Absolutely.
You in the saddle. You in
Yes.
a saddle. You in a stand, taking a nap in a tree. Who does that?
That's right.
Huh? That's
Hey, I
something that
believe in
we.
safety first, so I have on my safety harness though. I can't
That's
fall
right.
out this thing. I'm
That's right.
secured to the tree. But man, it's nothing like seeing the sunrise from a tree. It's nothing like
Yes,
seeing the
sir.
sunrise. Walking in the darkness, you're a little nervous now. You're a little
Yeah.
nervous. You're
Yeah.
gonna hear something rustle by you. They may even take off. You may hear something grunt, but you know where your tree stand is or where you want to set up. You climb your tree, you get in that tree, and you just wait, and then you see
Have,
that sunrise.
mm.
It's no
Have you
telling
ever
what you
got
can see when that
lost?
sunrise.
Have you ever got lost in the woods?
Oh my God, yes sir,
You ain't never got lost in the woods.
yes sir. Okay, so I'm gonna give
Who
you a
hasn't?
quick
I
story,
mean, if you hadn't got lost in the woods, you ain't hunting.
I'm
sir.
telling
You ain't hunting.
So, like I told you guys in the beginning part of the area, I'm new to the Mississippi area. So I joined a hunting club. I live in Northwest Mississippi. I joined a club in
Northwest.
Northeast Mississippi, and we
Okay.
hunt basically through an app. So you kind of have an idea of where you want to go, and it coordinates to your phone and stuff. So I parked in the wrong area, and I walked through the woods. I parked by a kudzu patch. I cut across that patch, walked down a pine ridge, and set
All
up
right.
by a creek. It's
All right.
cold. I'm seeing deer. I saw a big buck, but I was just like, I walked so far, I don't even really know where I'm supposed to go to get up out of here. So I didn't even shoot him. So I climbed down, but I text the president. I was like, hey, I parked at stand X. I want to walk back to the road and, figure my way out back to my truck. He said, okay, what you do is you go south, probably about 300 yards, and then you make a left, and then you'll be over there. So this is young. This is like year 1, year 2 in the
Yes, sir.
woods.
Yeah.
I got little water. I got barely any battery. I have no compass. I have my phone compass, but I said I have low
Oh
battery.
man.
So
Oh man.
instead of me going south, I'm going the opposite direction. So I'm basically cutting through. I'm trespassing at this point. I've climbed over ridges. There's a falling down tree. I'm crossing the little embankments. I don't lift myself up, climbing the land, trying to figure my way out. Anyway, it's getting dark. It's 2 hours later. And I finally come to a road, a logging road, because I can hear cars. I'm just traveling towards the sound of cars. So
Mhm.
I'm walking that way, and then I see a guy. I flag him down. Again, I'm in Northeast Mississippi. I don't live here.
Right.
And I was
Right.
like, hey, excuse me. My gun is unloaded, by the way. I parked by a kudzu patch somewhere down this
Said a
road.
kudzu patch. Hey, like somebody know the exact name of the kudzu patch.
If he from the area, he knows a kudzu patch that has parking near it. So, but when I'm talking to him, I do notice there are like 2 toddler children sleep in the back of the car. So I'm just like, either he can point me in the right direction or this could go real bad. He's like, man, hop in the car. I know exactly where you parked at.
What?
So he takes me to my car. I tried to give this man money. I had like $20 or $40 on me. He was like, no, man, nope. Everybody's been there. It's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. It's all good. I said, thank you so much. God bless. Have a good night. I touched my car door. I threw up. All the adrenaline left my body.
Listen, see, folks, that's what we're talking about. The outdoor
Yeah.
gift is something that people are just missing today. Those types of experiences, you just can't get that. I hate to say it, to your normal 9 to 5, to your everyday walk
Absolutely.
of life. Only in the outdoor can you have those experiences that give you that chance to have an adrenaline rush of the
Ooh.
unknown, or have that kind of excitement of, what's to come next. But
Right.
you
It taught me
come
a
to
valuable
find
lesson.
you find those lessons, because being in the woods it helps you to slow down, a little
Absolutely.
bit.
Mm.
Helps you to slow
Yeah.
down a little bit.
Yeah.
And the woods don't care what your job title is. It doesn't care what your title is. It's a beast when it comes to those. They really don't care, So you have to succumb to what nature gives you. But
That's
you can
right.
only be successful if you allow yourself to be connected.
And he's
All right.
still going back hunting now. He's
And
still
and he's
going.
still
Well, it
going
didn't
back.
deter me.
So
It just said, hey, you need to get a secondary battery charger for your phone. You need to
That's
pack
right.
more water. You may need to be familiar with a physical compass and not rely on your phone. And I needed to spend more time in the woods to orient myself to where things are.
right.
That's right.
All
Yeah.
right. Awesome. So we're gonna switch to another segment. Great job on that, fellas. Appreciate it. The outdoors. We spoke many a times in previous episodes how the outdoor teaches patience, or even humility. But one lesson that you can get from both hunting and fishing is patience. You can't force it. You know, it's something that you can't just will. It has to happen organically. Nature operates on its own timeline. And in today's world, you know, everybody has this understanding of instant gratification, fast food, fast internet service, fast answers. Everything is at the drop of a dime, but the outdoor has a pushback against this. It has a way of telling you, wait a minute, slow down, take your time. Because if you don't, you'll get lost. If you don't,
Exactly.
you can't make that shot.
That's
If
right.
you
That's
don't,
right.
you're gonna blow out that deer or you're gonna miss the tug on that line. So
Mhm.
nature has a interesting way of slowing us all down. So my question to you, Darryl, is how has hunting or fishing, it doesn't really matter, how has it taught you patience?
It taught me patience because, as you can see, look at my hat. I love hunting turkeys. I
You had
love birds. I love birds. So I started turkey hunting probably in 2022. I didn't harvest my first bird until 2024. So through those 2 years period of, going and the first time I went out, I saw a turkey in the road. I'm like, oh, I got it licked, baby. The sun is up. It's like 7 o'clock. He coming up the road. He's coming to me. He know it's me. That when I say that bird skirted me and went down the ridge and I never saw that bird, but when I first saw him, he was fanning. I was like,
His
"Oh,
fan.
man,
He
he's
He was
coming.
full strut.
in
He
the
is
strut.
coming
That's
to
called
me."
strut. He was
Full
Yeah,
strutting.
he was
full
strutting to
strut.
me. He was in
Yeah.
full strut at me.
Yeah.
I know he's coming up this road. I know he's coming up this road, but he
Right.
did not, and I didn't see or hear another bird for the rest of the day. But I just wanted to capture that bird, harvest that bird, but I didn't at the time. So they just taught me, hey, I need to work on my calls. I need to work on this the land that I'm hunting. I need to know the ins and outs. Like, where can he dip off? I need to have a great line of shot from point A, point B, and even if he come behind me, I need to have a good lane to shoot if he comes that way. So
Mhm.
it just teaches you how to rework your mind. I just think that any type of hunting or outdoor experience, even with fishing, you tried out this bait. This bait is a sure bait. I'll kill him every time. Well, not today. You may kill them with the black and chartreuse, but they may want
Right.
something pearl white today. You know what I
Right.
mean? You just gotta
Yeah.
you gotta switch it up. You gotta switch it up and see what they like and just keep adapting to it.
So with that, Darryl, I mean, it brings me to another question. You know, in one of those instances, did patience play a role in whether you were success or not? You talked about all those different techniques and different
Yes.
lures and having to change from one to the other based on the conditions or
Yes.
what you were feeling. But did patience play a key in it? And if it did, I want you to answer this follow-up question. If patience played a role, both, you know, go either way, but why is it so hard for people to understand patience today?
So to answer your first question, I'm gonna tell you just how patience played a role in me harvesting that Rio that's over my shoulder right here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm in South Texas. It's wind blowing 15 mile an hour, 20 miles an hour. I get dropped off in a field and they say, hey, there are turkeys on this ridge area. If you go down, if you just sit by the fallen mesquite tree, you should hear something come out. So
Mm.
I sit down, I'm near a feeder. Feeder goes off, 11 deer come out. They just running and eating and kicking in or whatever. I don't want no deer around me when I'm turkey hunting. You understand? I don't want
I
you
understand. Oh
anywhere
yeah.
around me. Go away.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
hey, I got my gun up. I'm doing all this. They ain't moving.
What?
They
They
know
ain't
deer.
moving.
Hey, they know
What
deer
kind of
season
circus
over.
it on?
They
Hey,
are not moving away from
the
me.
deer said is deer season is over. They not
This
going
is it
nowhere.
on. They like, I'm sure the circus like,
I
what?
stood up. I was in a hunting chair. I stood up. They were like, "Oh, okay, that is a person." So they run off. But a few minutes later, they like, "Hey, any of y'all shot? We ain't hear nothing. Man, we going back to eating." But anyway, so they're eating. A Tom comes in. He ain't even strutting. He ain't even talking. He just coming in to get some of this little corn right here. But those deer don't let him get within 30 yards. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a strategy for this guy because he just dusted off and ran around a little bush area and I couldn't see him. And the deer finally just went away. So I started calling again. But I don't know if you know the difference between a Eastern call and a Rio. A Rio is very polite. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm over here. Eastern is barrel roll. La, 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 la. It's gonna be real loud. It can scare you a little bit, make the hair on the back of
Yep.
your neck stand up.
Yes, sir.
So he's responded to me. I'm like, where is he? He could be far. He could be close. So again, I'm by a lay down of a mesquite tree. I look over the mesquite tree. He's 40 yards away. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just call softly to him again, just give him a little light purr. He comes within probably about 50 steps of me. I got the 20 gauge with the TSS. I let it eat. He went down. So my thing with that as I relate to patience is I could have let that first moment when he got rushed away by those deer to discourage me. But I just continued to, try to work him to see if he would come in to try to find that hen that he was looking for, because he was ready to mate. I just stayed diligent on what my plan was, and it seemed to work out in my favor. And to circle back to your question about why people are not so patient these days when it comes to everything, just with life, I think we live in a society where we thrive off the rush of being in the know. Everybody has the fear of missing out on something, whether it's work related, whether it's hunting related. They just feel like, I have to be that guy. I have to be that person to put you on something that you didn't know about. So I just think that's something that's kind of hurting the joy, because if you're caught up in the moment of capturing the moment, you're not living the moment. You're not witnessing it. It's better for you to have a story to tell verbally, I think, and then support it with documentation than just to be caught up in the moment of living in seeing like what happens. Because I'm telling you, if I just was relying on that recording of that, that turkey coming in and going away, that would have told part of the story, because I wasn't engaged in my hunt. But I just allowed my patience to take over and say, okay, I know he's interested. I know he likes the way I talk to him. He think I'm sexy. He think I sound real sexy to him. So I just got to convince him to come back to me. And I did. And it worked out.
Hey, sound like he know what he didn't got. Hey, did you were you using a mouth call or were you using a box call? What type of call were you using?
I was using a mouth call.
Okay.
Well, at first, when I first get there, I'll
you
probably
can make
get
a
on.
soft call with a mouth call.
Soft
Yeah,
call.
yeah. So I'll do a light cluck. I'll do a purr.
Yeah.
And I'll do a yelp. And
I mean, I'm good with the yelps and clucks, but to try to make, because like you said, in this part of the country, they screaming at you, you know. So I had no practice in that soft spoken stuff. But
that's how they.
Sometimes you got to hit them with that Barry White. You
Listen,
got
that soft spoken, soft spoken words is what bring them in. Sometimes we go and we're too loud, and they've already located us, and they bust you before you even. They see you because you're so loud, and they like, wait a minute, the flock is over here. Why she so loud over here? She trying to call me. But now she's consistently, she's not moving, she's not raking leaves. She just yep. Just keep on, you just keep on. So patience. Turkey hunting is patience, Darryl. It really is. It paid off.
Absolutely.
Now,
how did I want you, and I only want you. Come on.
How do you feel the difference in the Eastern turkey versus you said a Marion that you killed?
It was a Rio. I killed a Rio in South Texas.
A Rio.
Yeah.
So compare those two with me. I mean, of course, from where I am, we have a lot of hogs, and we have fox. We got raccoons eating all the eggs. And where you were, there was abundant amount of turkey, I'm assuming. Quite a bit of turkey, right?
Right.
Here, the turkeys shut up because all the predators that we have, there's certain parts that they shut up. There, you may clap your hand and they may gobble. So give me a little comparison. Which turkey was the toughest? I know that's a good example, and you don't have that scenario to come by with a deer all the time. That just don't happen. Most time the deer will be out of there, no matter what time of the season. However, give me the difference between that Eastern and that you said not a Marion.
That Rio,
Rio
so
that you killed.
Eastern here, we have to, like you said, you have to deal with the foxes, the bobcats, the hogs, the possums, the raccoons, and all this stuff. And you have great tall trees that, they roost in at the end of the night. Where I'm at in South Texas, they got mesquite trees, and they're probably 10, 12 feet, 15 feet max. Okay. There's just a lot of sand and dust around. So it's just a totally different dry terrain. So in one instance, when I was hunting, because I harvested my one bird and I went back for another. So I'm on a road trying to capture this one bird. I got a hen responded to me behind a mesquite tree. I'm walking up and talking. She come following me talking. I hear two Rios following her, talking behind her. So I'm like, okay, we finna make some more magic. Okay, I got one. I'm coming for number two. That hen popped out on me about 30 yards. She by herself.
Okay.
Ain't nobody gobbling. I'm like, oh, it must be a head buster around here that got these boys scared to get close to her and gobble. So I'm working down the ridge because I can hear a bird far away from me. I'm going to him, and I'm in the middle of a road. It's just tree, road, other line of trees. I'm in the middle of this road, and it's a hayfield near a fence line. I do, yup, yo, I see a red dot in the middle of a caramel hayfield. I'm like, oh, I'm busted. If I was an Eastern, he gone. He ain't never doing nothing.
He gone.
He gone. So I ducked back by, I probably saw this bird about 70 yards. I ducked back in the little bushing of the mesquite tree. I just hit him with the yo, 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 yo. He gobbling. I'm like, oh, this bird got cataracts. He don't know I'm a person. I'm not a bird. But he's still working his way, trying to work his way around me. But again, like I said, I'm in a new state. I don't know the terrain, but it's telling me that like this bird is a little bit more workable, I think, than the Eastern is. The Eastern is super scared.
It's gone.
Super scared.
And
it's real willing to work though.
Awesome.
That's right.
Awesome. Awesome stuff, guys. Listen, people, the things you just heard, I'm gonna try to tie this up on a bow for this segment here. And that is patience and reward. Those are things that go hand in hand naturally. Simply because, like Darryl stated earlier today, people want that instant gratification. They want what's now, what's hot, what's new right now in their hand. But that real gratification comes from the time you put in, that effort, that work that you had to do, that slowing you down that nature forces you to do in order to be successful. These two stories, or should I say the stories that Darryl provided, it's a great example on how patience equates to an unexpected reward. So here's what we're trying to get to you folks. Being outdoors gives you that ability to be patient, which can transition to your everyday life to where it helps slow things down, to where you can now see a bigger picture, get refocused, and then to try to move on to accomplish those goals. All right, we're going to get into another segment that I think I know Lou and I have talked about.
We have
before. Is one that is near and dear to us, and there's some opportunities that we're going to have, Lou, and we talked about it. We're going to get that ball moving on that as well. But how does we're going to look at how the outdoors improve mental health. Now, don't get me wrong, and Lou, I'm gonna pass.
You go right in. Yeah.
That this mental health thing is a serious issue, particularly today. It's more apparent now than it has before because let me tell you something. Paw, granddad, uncle, all of them taught us as young boys, hey, you don't cry, you don't weep, you don't whine.
Yes.
You don't
Keep it all inside.
You keep it all inside. That was the thing to do.
You better not cry. That's right.
You better not cry. And in our community, that was more so of a rite of passage than anything. You couldn't be looked upon as a strong young man if you always cried and this and that and the third. But today, now we're seeing the aftermath of some of that behavior. We're seeing some of people crash out. These are the terms that I'm using today to try to make
Understood. Understood.
Get these crash out moments because now as some of our children of those experiences don't know how to handle them. They don't know how to deal with them. So Lou, I'm throwing it to you, brother.
Man, mental health is a serious issue, and I know we're just gonna touch a little bit on it, because we have other topics to discuss. However, just give you a prime example, and I'm gonna jump back into hunting. I'm gonna go straight just a little bit. Was walking over to a grocery store, sell a gentleman or something on Marketplace that I had. Met the guy, shook his hand, and I said, brother, I just said, hey man, God is good, man. I said, and we never know what another person is thinking. And he stopped. He stopped. He said, what you say? I said, man, we never know what another person is thinking. And we just see you smiling, but we never know what goes on behind those four walls. He said, and he dropped his head, right? And the water coming in his eye. He said, man, I do so much work. But he just said, man, I don't have nobody to talk to.
Exactly.
And we went from meeting for supposed to be like a quick 15-minute transaction. We swapped the money. I give him the thing off of Marketplace. We were out there 2.5 hours. Understanding he's a preacher kid. I'm a preacher kid. Things that we as alpha male, we try to hold this whole world on our shoulders. And then when it comes to releasing it, where do we release it? And that's where hunting plays a factor for me, for Darryl, and for Doc.
Yes.
I understand. And so there's an outlet that we have, and didn't want to go straight off the topic, but I just had to let you know it's other ways that it can be released. And I told him, I said, I'm thankful. I'm blessed. I said, you have to find an outlet. His outlet was music. He said his outlet, he likes making music. I said, well, go at it. I said, create music. Let your dopamine take over and you do that. Ours, when we go
Right.
hunting, ours are released whether we harvest an animal or not.
Absolutely.
We are enjoying the outdoors. That's our outlet. You know, sometimes bills, stress, depression, all those type of things plays a factor in our daily lives. And what we have to do, we got to make sure, one, we stay prayed up. Two, have someone to talk to. It is a great pleasure to talk to Darryl and talk to Doc, you know, because when we get off of here, we may have some more things to talk about. We can't tell y'all everything, but we have to release. We have to communicate. And those sometimes are vulnerable moments. As an alpha male, we don't want to share it with nobody, right?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Question for you, Darryl, man. Have you ever experienced stress relief from being outdoors?
Absolutely. The outdoors, there are no deliverables in the outdoors. There are no productivity reports in the outdoors. There's no timesheet that you got to submit to be out there. There's nothing that you have to do. This is all about you. You know, you go through your Monday through Friday doing your productivity for your job or your own personal business. But in the outdoors, that's where you can find your peace. I'm a communal hunter. I like upland hunting. I like
Yeah,
waterfowl hunting,
yeah,
mostly
yeah,
because I like to talk and I
yeah.
like to make people laugh. You know, when you're in a blind and you know, when birds are working, when ducks are working,
I'm with
you
you.
gotta be quiet. You place your call, you do your thing. When them birds ain't flying, you can
Yeah,
talk as much as you want. You can cook a meal if you want, honestly,
Yeah.
but you
yeah.
know, you can have as much conversation as you like. If you are, you know, chasing quails or hunting rabbits and you out there with your guys, that's what it's more so about. And you can laugh at your guys like, man, hey, I saw you miss that rabbit that was about 30 yards in front of you. He flew right in front of your face and you couldn't even swing on him. Those are those moments where you get to relax and just, you know, decompress from all the work that you have to do that's coming
Yeah.
up and the work that was behind you. This is your time to reset your mind, and you can do that in the outdoors.
What'd you think about that, Doc?
Man, when he said about the talking, that took me, man, because you know, he's right. I know people all the time tell me, "I can't go hunting." I'm like, "Why?" I be wanting to talk. I be wanting to say, "You gotta be quiet. You can't move." I can't do it. I mean, a lot of times that be the case. That be the
That
case,
is the
but
case.
I think what he has said is spot on, man. I
Yeah.
really can't,
There are
you
certain
know, prove
there are
anything he
certain
just said.
types of hunting, like you said, rabbit hunting, quail hunting, dove hunting, communication, right?
Absolutely.
But I know turkey and we got the deer and other animals that outside of those parameters that we have to shh because they'll listen. Bear, any of those we got to be quiet. But you're right, just the camaraderie, getting with other individuals, like-minded individuals. Oh, talking it up. We're gonna cut your shirt tail because
Early
you
you
done
miss.
missed the deer.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Those type of things we love. We love to have that interaction with other hunters, other like positive mind hunters. My thing is to you, Darryl, um, how do you think nature has that effect? Or why do you think nature has that effect on individuals? Like stress relief, or why does nature make you feel so relaxed once you leave, whether you harvest an animal or not?
Well, first off, when I get in the woods, I'm always appreciative of the land that I'm on. Walking up a ridge. I'm seeing, you know, vegetation. I'm seeing beautiful hardwoods that I'm in. I'm getting an exercise, so you know, getting my
Exercise, yeah,
calories in. That's
yeah, yeah,
important for your mental health too. Getting that
that's right.
cardio in, and I'm thinking of you know of a way to try to harvest that species that I'm looking for. So you know,
Right.
that's getting my mind working. And then at the end of the day, if I don't get a harvest, I got my steps in, I got my calories burnt. I was able to try to, you know, harvest a particular animal, but at least I have notes to go back and look at to try to strategize around another way to eventually get my harvest. But the biggest joy that I have and the point about the mental health piece, it gives me an opportunity to decompress, and nature will
Mm,
allow you to do that because you can just see the beautiful land that you're able to hunt on, whether it's private
mm,
or public land. If you're able
mhm,
to, you know, put boots on the ground, you know,
mhm,
walk those steps, try to formulate a plan around what you're trying to harvest, I think that'll
mhm.
give you all the dopamine rush that you will need when it's time for the season to accomplish your goal in harvesting your species.
Man,
yeah.
Doc,
See,
that go ahead.
yeah, see, the things about something you said earlier, just a moment ago, Darryl, you said, "There's no time sheet. There's no" There's no reports. There's none of those things that go through that normal day-to-day of work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, therapy for us, as you know, is found outdoors. So the point here is some of the best therapy for any of you out there in TV land, podcast, if you having problems with needing some outlet or need some type of therapy, it won't be found in that building.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I know it's been an experience for us that is experienced it in the outdoors. I think there's a natural connection. There's a natural
You're grounded.
therapy. You ground it and because that's the way it was designed. That was the ultimate design anyway for us to be connected to nature. So I think you're right there 100% that, you know, it's not something you can punch a clock to. You have to get
Yeah.
outdoors. So and
Absolutely.
that's where I leave it.
Yeah. Well, I say this too. I went hunting and come back and was tired like I ran a marathon. It's because I was so focused that on a game camera had me so focused on one particular animal that I wanted to harvest deer. And I just knew that animal was going to come out this particular way. The wind right, the condition was right. I got in there, the leaves were soft. I got up in my tree. Nothing blew me that day. But I did not harvest that animal that day. And I left out and I was tired. It's because my mind was so focused on, I replayed it and replayed it and replayed how I'm going to harvest. Pulling back my bow here, checking everywhere, pulling back my bow here, standing up so often, sitting down, pulling back. I said, I know he going to come right here and I'm going to shoot him. I ain't got to move. He going to drop him and I'm going to pick him up. I didn't already got him in my truck. I know exactly
You already
who
got
I'm
the back
gonna
straps out.
I already knew who I was gonna call first, Doc. I already knew I was gonna call D.
Already know on speed dial, man.
Didn't call nobody. Got to the truck and I was like, man, I'm exhausted. My mental had escaped away from all the work that I have to do. And I let it go. I was so focused on that, what I wanted to harvest, man. And that right there to me, mental health, to be able to escape through all the work and things that we have to do is something that I'm blessed to have, and I know you are too. Darryl, what would happen if more people spent time outdoors? What you think?
I think people would listen more. I think they'll be willing to understand people more. And I think they would just have they would lower their stress level, that they would not be so hostile to the environment that they live in. When you're in the outdoors and you know, appreciate the outdoors. We're talking about the people that are actually love being outside. We're not talking about the litterers. We're not talking about the trespassers or nobody like that. We're talking about people that actually, you know, value the beauty of the outdoors. I think we'll be patient with each other as a species, as a people. We will be more patient and more understanding with each other if we would just take the time to breathe in really fresh air. Because a lot of people live in concrete jungle situations. If you are out in nature and all you can see is nature, I'm telling you, it will lower your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and your cortisol levels.
Absolutely. So we got these life lessons, which is a great segue into the next episode. You know, in previous conversations, we talked about failure. We talked about misses. Those misses, we said, teaches us or improves our hunt for the next time we're out.
That's
You
right.
know, hunting and fishing to me, and I believe, and I'm telling you all, there are opportunities for you to have success, but you must go through those failures first. They are unavoidable. Don't avoid them because by avoiding, you are missing the opportunity to grow. Every hunter has missed. Every hunter has, you know, missed that bow shot, missed that rifle shot, or missed that swing on that gobbler.
Absolutely.
But the failure to me is the thing that starts the process. At
Okay.
first, you don't succeed, try and try again. We all have heard of that.
That's
But what
right.
that essentially saying, failure starts the process. It teaches you to be sharper. It prepares us to be successful. So with that, if you're an outdoorsman or if you want to get into outdoors, if you always thinking about missing or failure, here's my question. Why do so many hunters, whether they're successful or not, escape failure or escape the opportunity to embrace failure?
That's a good question.
I think people are afraid. I mean, if you have a plan, if you always go behind your house and every time you go out there, you're able to harvest something, see something, you're less likely to change. You know, I'm not I don't own a lot of acres and stuff like that. Most of the clubs that I've been in have been, hours away. I haven't had anything close to me. So
Okay.
me being willing to, put the time in, put those boots on the ground and, just be in the woods to take an opportunity or something. I take joy in the learning from that versus just being there. Cause I had an opportunity where I was in the Mississippi Delta. I'm in a saddle. I was in a draw hunt area and I had a buck come in and he's a legal buck. He had to be, 20-inch main beam. And I'm looking at him, his nose to the ground. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I'm doing the calculation. I'm in my saddle now. But I know y'all watch Looney Tunes. You know when sometimes they knock something in the back of the head and their teeth come on the ground and they start chattering. Ta, 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 ta. My leg is doing that the more I'm looking at this buck. So I put my gun up and for some reason I cannot hold steady. And I shot I shot over him or something. He didn't die because he mule kicked and then ran off and he looked at me like, is that you? Did you just tried to shoot me and you missed? I'm gone.
Come on, man. You're like, come on, man.
But that excited me because that was like really the second time that I saw a monster buck. Well, when I was taking this Widgeon Drake on my wall to get taxiderms, I drove in this country area. I'm still in, I'm in Northwest Tennessee at this time. And I'm driving down this little 2-lane road and there's a house on the side and I could see this doe just going to town in this lady front garden. And then I looked to the right. I was like, man, why would somebody have like a 3D archery buck out here? This don't make no darn sense. And then he picked his head up and I screamed. I'm in my car screaming like Home Alone because I was like, I've never seen a buck this big in my life. But it's just that excitement of it. I've only had buck fever twice and it wasn't even the season. I had buck fever in a car. I had buck fever in a Honda. Okay. It shook me up because I'm like 30 yards from her and I'm trying to record and he's still there. Like, take your picture, you want a selfie or something? And then he cut off. I was just so shaken up by that moment. And then when I got the opportunity, like I said, in the Delta, it's like, hey, you tried to shoot my cousin up in Tennessee that time. He told me about it. But hey, that just lit a fire in me more. I was just like, man, if I get one of those guys, they're going to have to put the Grind Jordan meme on my face when I take that picture on Facebook or something like that. Because I will be elated once I get that type of harvest.
Well, we talked about embracing failure, and that's inevitable. But the thing about it, I think there's a connection to that in real life that people, if in their everyday life, accept failures and use that as a springboard to lessons learned, that they would have a better outcome. So, what was one of those failures in the outdoor space, Darryl, that you absolutely would never forget? I know you have, several, but what's that one one experience that you never forget?
I think it was that opportunity
where you failed.
Yes, absolutely. I think it was that the opportunity of me being lost when I didn't prepare myself, when I didn't have like my check sheet of what I needed to bring to the outdoors, making sure I had my compass, make sure my phone was charged, make sure I have a checklist now, make sure I have water, make sure I have enough ammunition, make sure I have a first aid kit. Those little things. Make sure someone knows where I'm going, just in the event that something happened. I can be found.
Y'all better pay attention. Giving y'all nuggets.
I can be found. So
he dropping them.
He dropping them.
Just so those little things like that, because at the end of the day, before you get a license, what they say, you got to do safety. This is a big component of safety first. And that failure of me getting lost for 2 hours gave me the opportunity to say, hey, I need to be, I know I was hyper excited about the opportunity to hunt, but I still need to be diligent and disciplined enough to be safe over everything, no matter what the failure may be. I need to be safe first because I need to return home.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, Doc and Darryl, I tell you two things. Pride will get you in trouble.
Every single time. Comes before the fall.
Being lost and having pride does not go together. Being lost will humble you very quickly.
Right. Because when that car drove by, I could have just let him go. I'm like, I'll find it. I'm at the road now.
You could have. It humbles you. And another thing, Pride, some guys, when they miss, they want people to think that they are perfect. Those people that, like, they don't tell you about their misses because they know they're going to get talked about. They don't miss. No. They don't want to show that part. Me, I don't mind showing it because I learned so much from it. I have harvested a buck that I went into the woods. We made eye contact and people say you'll never see that buck again. And I end up killing that buck the same year because one, That nose got him in trouble. Chased him behind the little girl. She said, come to my house. And he did. But he didn't know it was another stranger in her house waiting on him. Got him. He was dead in 20.
Out.
That's right. So pride, put your pride aside, be humble, and know of the woods, respect the woods, because anybody that's been hunting can get a turnaround just like that, Doc. You can go ahead.
I was just gonna piggyback on what you said, and then we're gonna move to the next segment. But I just had to get this in when you're talking about that pride and people don't show that. And we've talked about that. I have a bow series of bow hunting 3 different times. And in each, the first 2 of those, I purposely showed a miss, a missed opportunity, a missed shot, and then a final harvest. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now did I get raked over the coals for it? I did.
You know you did. You know you did.
I saw you missed that shot. You did this, yada yada.
You know you did. Yeah.
I did. I put it on. I put it up there for a purpose, for a reason.
Come on.
To show
you could have cut it out.
That
you could have cut it out.
I could have not or not showed it at all. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to show that you do miss. But I also wanted to show persistent. If you stick with it, you'll have your success.
Yes, sir.
So I had a failed opportunity to even draw back on a deer.
Okay.
2, missed the deer entirely.
Yep.
And 3, I came right back. I put him down. But people don't want to show you that miss. But I learned from those things. Okay. Failure is education, folks. That's the point we're trying to get you to get here. Education is the point. The woods are one of the greatest teachers, we said, and deer as well, but the outdoor is a classroom. Success without struggle rarely teaches anything. You've heard these comments before. You heard us try to drill this to get you guys to understand that don't shy away from those failures. All right, moving right along. Now we're going to look at the humility part I just mentioned about being humble, or how the woods will humble you.
That's right.
You know, it has a way of reminding us just how humbling it is. Weather changes, deer disappear, fish don't bite.
All right.
Turkeys, when they roost, they don't strut. All of those things humbles you because you, as an outdoorsman, you prepare, you have these levels of expectations, but then when it comes to that moment when you expected something to happen, something don't. So it humbles everything. That's a good thing. So Darryl and Lou, you can jump in here anytime, but I'm gonna just say this and then I'm gonna turn it over to you. Nature don't care what your plans are, folks. Okay, they don't care. It's almost like that thing I like to say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm gonna pass it to you on that note, Lou.
Listen, the weather changing. You can go out, you can say, well, I don't want to go out. I try to get my wife to go hunting with me, right? And my wife said, okay, these are the terms that I'm going to go hunting with you. 1, you can't have no mosquitoes, okay? It can't be too hot. It can't be too cold. We're not going to sit on the ground. And can we, I want it to be just right. And not like, okay, that's a perfect situation. That is a perfect situation. So that means she really didn't want to go hunting with me, okay?
That's exactly right.
I couldn't find that spot for her to go, So my thing is, yes, being humble. The nature will make you very, very humble, and you will understand quickly that the weather can turn just like that. Nature has a way of reminding us we're not in control. My thing to you, Darryl, would be, what's the most humbling outdoor experience you've had?
Well, I went out to Texas again. I've been to Texas a couple times. I went out there for a sandhill crane hunt. It's supposed to be dry. It's supposed to be, a good time of the year when they come. I get to South Texas and we get in the blind. It starts hailing. I'm getting a hailstorm in South Texas trying to harvest some sandhill crane. We had to walk like half a mile back to the car. I messed around too, and I had on my boots. I tucked my pants into my boots, right? So all that's wet, all that's icy. I'm walking back the whole time back to the car. But again, I'm with a group of guys. So being humbled in that moment, I took it as a point to laugh. And, I have a story to tell, but we just took the opportunity to go to something else. The sandhill crane wasn't available to us at that time, but we were able to harvest some quail. We shot some, pigeons and doves by silos, and we still had a good time laughing and poking fun at each other if we did miss. But, those 3 days that I was down there, I wasn't able for my target species, but I didn't let that deter me from having a good time with my fellow men in the outdoors.
So dare I say you are a true outdoorsman now. You have earned your stripes, and of course, we never stop learning when it comes to hunting. Do we, Doc? We never
Absolutely
stop
not.
learning. I mean,
Never
if
stop
you
learning.
stop, if you know everything, I think you probably in heaven hunting because
You're in
even the
heaven,
most,
or you
you
just need to
gotta
stop.
be. You gotta
Yeah,
be.
you got to
Because
be.
the avid hunter, you're gonna learn something every time
Every
you go. And as an outdoorsman, how do you respect nature?
I
As a
respect nature. As an
Mhm.
outdoorsman, I respect nature by whatever I bring into the woods is coming out with me. I respect nature by if I am near a boundary or someone's property line, I stay several yards away from that line so that doesn't, cause any
Yes.
rift or any type of damage. I respect nature by knowing because it has to do with a hunt. If I'm going to, point my weapon at an animal, I know I need to do my best effort to do an ethical kill, not just, I'm shooting to get something to happen and, just make it go down.
Right.
I think that's some of the biggest keys to, just being respectful of nature, respectful of the species that I'm trying to harvest, respect of the land that I'm on and what I'm
Mhm.
trying to do in outdoors.
Mhm. Mhm. I like it. What you think about Doc?
I mean, he said it. I mean, I
Yeah.
couldn't have said it best, and I
Okay.
appreciate his take on it because, respecting outdoors is one of those things that helps you become connected. I mean, if you don't respect it, meaning you deliberately harvesting deers and don't have a need to consume it or share it,
Right.
you just kill 'em to be killing. That's very disrespectful. Or if you are not preparing yourself in practice and you go and wound game, that's very disrespectful in my opinion. I mean, the way you are respectful, you prepare yourself, you be ethical, you make good decisions. If you need to back out, back out. If you need to call a friend, do that. But all of that is saying you have a respect for nature and that you appreciate the opportunities that you have had or that you will receive in nature. And I think what you put out, the good that you put out, good to come in.
That's right. That's right. I totally agree. I totally agree. That's being humble. Humility is one of the outdoors' greatest gifts
Mhm.
that we have. No, it's not fair. When you're out there, I think it's an even playing field. I'm not taking away from the high fences, all like that. You can still miss in the high fence. So
Right, in the
Oh
high
to
yeah, you
all the
can.
people, you can't, all the people that want to go high fence, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you're going out there in nature, and you going out there as a true hunter, you don't know where the game is, or you trying to understand the game, coming to some unfamiliar territory, you're looking at topography, wind direction, all that. It evens the playing field and you become humble quick because where you think deer would be in this particular area because of terrain, food, hidden areas, oaks, pines, transition areas, saddles. You thinking that okay, there's a ridge. On the top of the ridge, you got honeysuckles. We see a path coming through some honeysuckles going into Oak Flat. Okay, but then you get over here, you see some of the same type of land in a different state. You're like, oh, they're gonna do the same thing. And you don't see nothing. I'm telling you because that's where my mind was when I start hunting different states. I'm like, oh, these deer gonna do the same thing. This the same terrain that I've been hunting. And I'm quickly humbled. So we go into the why is humility often missing is a modern culture. Why is humility often missing is a modern culture?
It's not sexy to be humble. It's sexy to be seen. It's sexy to be boisterous. It's sexy to be flashy. It is not
Hey,
sexy to be humble. Nobody knows
hey.
anything if you're humble.
That's right.
Mm-mm.
People got to know what I
They want
did,
to
how I
laugh.
did it, what I did it with.
Yeah.
We just we just got to be seen, and that's what's messing up the game. That's
We
what's
wanna
making it
post those selfies, post those
right. And that's
Hey,
all this showing off is what's really stressing you out. You
it's
thinking
stressing
hey.
about
you out 'cause
how
you're
to
trying to
flex at work.
compete.
You trying to
You're trying to
think about
compete with a
flexing
false
personally.
reality. Yeah.
It's stressing you out.
Right, right, right. Awesome, man. Look, we we
Good.
we 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 live in a world, y'all can agree with me, or y'all may not agree with me, but we live in a world where people need to spend more time outdoors. You know, those we just talking about how screens dominate people time. People are
Mhm.
pretty much disconnected,
Right.
and this is why I believe more people need to spend more time outdoors. I mean, it's not necessarily to hunt, or it's not to go fishing, or it's not to go turkey hunting. but it gives you an opportunity to slow down. It's a thing. We keep saying it over and
Absolutely.
over again. Is slow down, connect, regain who you really are.
Right.
You can do that through the outdoors. So what would you tell someone, Darryl, who has never spent time outdoors? And we're gonna, after these, we're gonna try to wrap this on up.
For anybody that wants to get in the outdoors, I think your first course of action, you need to take a hunter safety course, because you'll be around people that have an interest like you do, that want to be in the outdoors like you do, and you can kind of build a fellowship group from your outdoors course class. It takes a while, because it's it's an 8-hour course, but if you take the time to get in the outdoors, educate yourself on the outdoors, it's no telling where you can end up. You can start out going public land. You can start learning how to read topography maps, putting your boots on the ground to trying to learn the land that you want to hunt, invest in, some gear or equipment that you want to hunt with. Do that in a communal space. And then guys can go together, set up, learn the terrain that you want to go on. If you want to try to set a deer up, like, hey, he can try to come in between us 1 or 2 points. And if
Yes.
going with your buddy that you met from the hunter safety course, you are building memories together
Yes.
with someone that's coming up with you at the same time.
Yeah.
We got for
I
him,
like that. I like that. Hey, the hunter's course, we some young bucks, Doc. You and I, we real young, okay? But, however, there was a cutoff date where we didn't have to take the hunter's course because of our age, right? And I think that hunter's course is needed because, one, it is going to separate those who don't want to read or don't have the patience to sit down and understand.
That's your first lesson in patience.
Right there. It teaches you patience to sit down, go through the course, right? Understand, because you're going to learn something in the course. Even I take the course, you're going to learn something. What did I do wrong before? You know what I'm saying? Yes, I have put my gun on the wrong shoulder and I got somebody on the same side, dude, I like, load. It's like, bro, you got a loaded gun. There's a dude on the side of you. Guns on safety, but at the same time, it makes you aware of certain things like that. So I told my kids, that's what you have to do to go hunt. They're of age now. You got to take this course now. You're not young anymore if you want to go hunt. It's so important for our youth to understand it. And I think that may be something if we could find a way to get the course offered or just like,
Absolutely.
make the young group, hey, listen, y'all want to go hunt with us? This is a thing y'all got to do. Make it up. Well, of course they got to do it, but it's something that I think we can put together to make it fun to do the course.
Absolutely.
And at the end, hey, we're going to go shoot some clays or, at least get the experience of going through outdoors, riding 4-wheelers side by sides, Darryl. I think that'll be something that we can enjoy, bringing the youth in. Okay. That's just my thought on that.
No, it's not all, Lou. That's a real thing. That's how we can encourage more people to get into the outdoors. We have to show them. We can lead a horse to water, but we can't make them drink.
That's right.
But we can push you to understand how much you need the outdoor, and the outdoor needs you because you need therapy, and the hunt and the outdoor needs you there for your participation to keep things in balance. So just remember this, folks. The outdoors belongs to everyone. Every generation need that experience. My generation, Lou's generation, Darryl, and even the one that comes after us. You all need that. And with that, folks, we're gonna move to reflection.
Yes.
Is there anything, Darryl, that you could offer the listeners as a lesson that you may have learned as you transition into hunting?
Absolutely. My biggest thing to say I would learn is life is short. When people say, getting into it a little bit, you need to, walk by faith, not by sight. I think a part of that is going into the outdoors, going into something that you are not familiar with, because you only have a limited time on this earth. And to have your mental health in check, to be there for your family is a big component of that. And you can reset your mental health by being in the outdoors. So if nothing else can be said from what I'm saying today, just take heed to what I'm saying in terms of my life is better. I am a more well-rounded person. I'm a better employee because I am an outdoorsman.
Yes. I like that. He can't say nothing. Drop the mic on that. Drop the mic. Somebody, look, man, listen.
Awesome.
Well said, my brother.
Well said. Some of life's greatest lessons happens outside people. We know that, and we're trying to get you to understand that. as well as if you embrace it, if you embrace the outdoors, embrace the challenges, embrace the patience, and embrace the failure, the outdoors will change your life for the better. All right. And with that, thank you all for joining us on We Hunt 2, We Fish 2, where we hunt and fish and live outside. Remember, if you know someone that is going through something and needs an outlet, tell them about We Hunt 2, We Fish 2. Tell them about the outdoors. And remember, guys, go outside, go hunt, do what your mama told you. We hunt 2, we fish 2.
We fish 2.
Peace.